For regular videos on ancient cultures and forgotten civilizations, please subscribe.
At the site of the ancient port city of Ugarit, located in northern Syria, archaeologists unearthed a frantic cry for help. The following is the text of the letter, written in 1177 BCE on clay. My father, behold, the enemy's ships came. My cities were burned, and they did evil things in my country. Does not my father know that all my troops and chariots are in the land of Hatti, and all my ships are in the land of Luca? Thus, the country is abandoned to itself. May my father know it. The 7 ships of the enemy that came here inflicted much damage upon us. The city's last ruler, named Amurapi, made the distress call. The letter was addressed to the ruler of Alashia, a kingdom in Cyprus. The term father is referring to their diplomatic relationship. Unfortunately, the letter never reached its destination. Ugarit, a great Bronze Age metropolis, was destroyed, and its inhabitants slaughtered. Ugarit wasn't the only one. During the late Bronze Age, cities in the Middle East, North Africa, and the Mediterranean fell apart. Highly developed societies collapsed and never recovered. We call this series of unfortunate events the Bronze Age collapse. Who could possibly have caused such widespread destruction? The Sea Peoples, a roving band of mariners, were the ones that were blamed. They staged a large-scale amphibious assault on thriving cities of the Bronze Age. They came from the sea, destroyed, burned, killed, looted, and then vanished as quickly as they appeared. Or did they? Where did the Sea Peoples come from? And where did they go? That's what we're going to talk about in today's episode. Oh, you like do-it-yourself history? I do. And one form of history that is super fun to work on is your own family history. That's why I want to tell you about the sponsor of this video, MyHeritage. If you don't know who they are a family history service without equal, in my opinion, that provides you with the tools that you need to put your family history together. And that's why I've chosen to partner with them. What makes family history so cool, and why I love doing it, is because it's a form of historical research that we can do that no one else in the world is likely to do. It's all ours. It's our family. What MyHeritage does is provide you with over 19 billion records, all at your fingertips, with which you can piece together your family's genealogy. So, record matches, it will take you over here, and you'll find records. Okay, this is from Family Search, and there's someone in there that matches, and we can review the match. And look, seems to be him. Look at all these new people, new information that I don't have in my tree that I can now bring in by confirming the match. But let's see what else we got. Smart matches take you to other people's trees and see if there's some of the same relatives. Now check these out. Discoveries. Okay, these are people that MyHeritage discovered for me. This is instant discovery. And look at let's check out one. Susanna Pavlison. It looks like we have the same person. Look at the dates match. Same person. This is going to add 12 people to my tree. Yes. Boom. Check out how far I've gotten already. Here's my father's father's family line, which I have traced back into Italy into the 1700s. One thing I found out was that my Italian ancestors, which we all thought originated in the southern part of the Italian peninsula, actually came from Sicily. There's also an AI feature where you can take an old photo and enhance it and colorize it. Look at this photo of my mother's mother from 1922. It looks so much clearer and more real. You can even animate it. Then you can take these photos and put them right into your ancestor's profile. So if you want to work on your genealogy and family history, I can think of no better service. I recommend it to you enthusiastically and without reservations. Below the video, I will leave a special link, which MyHeritage has given me to offer to you. With it, you can sign up for a 14-day free trial and enjoy all of MyHeritage's amazing features. Then, if you decide during the trial that you want to continue your subscription, you'll get a 50 percent discount. Sea peoples, or the people of the sea, was a term coined by French Egyptologist Emmanuel de Rouget in the 19th century while describing inscriptions of Pharaoh Ramses III. His colleague Gaston Maspero popularized the term sea peoples and the associated invasion theory. The story of barbaric invaders inflicting devastation on peaceful settled communities has fascinated the human imagination for as long as anybody can remember. But the truth about the sea peoples is complicated. Their purported surprising appearance from the sea, laying waste to many cities, may not have been that sudden, nor did they vanish into the ocean after pillaging. Before we discuss more about where the sea peoples came from and where they went, let's look at what primary sources say about them, and we'll go over some of the popular theories about their identities. The earliest mention of the sea peoples comes from the Abishemu obelisk, dated between 2000 and 1700 BCE. The inscription talks about Kukunish, the son of Luca. But take that a little bit figuratively. Kukunish, or Kokones, were an Anatolian tribe based in the kingdom of Luca in western Anatolia. Luca is the name of one of the sea peoples tribes that we'll encounter in the ancient sources. The next mention of the sea peoples is from the Amarna letters written in the mid-14th century BCE. They were a series of correspondences between the rulers of the Aegean, Canaan, Anatolia, and Mesopotamia, and the Pharaoh of Egypt. In the Amarna letters, we see Denyen, Luca, and Shurden mentioned, who were among the several groups of sea peoples. Our next source on the sea peoples comes from Pharaoh Ramses II's inscriptions about his famous clash at Kadesh in 1274 BCE or so against the Hittites. Ramses says the Hittites had Luca soldiers in their confederation. The Egyptians had Shurden mercenaries among their forces. These are sea people tribes. The first clear mention of an invasion from the sea comes from Ramses II's successor, Pharaoh Meremta, in the 5th year of his reign, around 1207. In the Great Karnak inscription, a Threbus stela, and the Israel stela, Meremta talks about the Libyan king Merye, who formed an alliance with several groups of sea peoples, and they attacked the Nile Delta. Meremta defeated this invading coalition after a 6-hour battle. The sea peoples in the Libyan force included, he says, Ekwesh, Teresh, Luca, Shurden, and Shekelesh. Our next and perhaps the most famous and detailed source that talks about the sea peoples is Ramses III's mortuary temple, the Medinet Habu inscription, which describes a coalition of the sea that invaded Egypt. The confederation includes the Peleshet, Jeker, Shekelesh, Denyen, and Weshesh. Ramses III describes how the sea peoples laid waste to civilizations of the Near East. The foreign countries, he's talking about the sea peoples, made a conspiracy in their islands. All at once the lands were removed and scattered in the fray. No land could stand before their arms. From Hatti, Koda, Karkemish, Arzawa, and Alashia, on being cut off at one time, a camp was set up in Amuru. They desolated its people, and its land was like that which has never come into being. They were coming forward toward Egypt, while the flame was prepared before them. Their confederation was the Peleshet, Jeker, Shekelesh, Denyen, and Weshesh, lands united. They laid their hands upon the land as far as the circuit of the earth, their hearts confident and trusting. Our plans will succeed. Interestingly, Ramses III doesn't mention the Shurden. If we take a closer look at 2 ships shown with the inscription, we'll find that there are soldiers wearing horned helmets associated with the Shurden. We can assume they were part of the invading force then. The inscription at Medinet Habu is important because it provides us with proof of how the sea peoples looked. We get an idea about their attire and can pick up clues about their possible origins because of that. The next source that talks about the sea peoples is the Harris Papyrus I, the longest papyrus found in Egypt. This document is from the early years of the reign of Ramses IV, but it talks about a large-scale campaign against the sea peoples. We think it's referring to what happened during his predecessor Ramses III's reign. So It's probably with these punitive actions that Ramses III carried out against the Sea Peoples. The most important takeaway from this papyrus is Ramses III's settling of captured Shurden and Weshesh in Egypt. He took prisoners and settled them there from the Sea Peoples. The Onomasticon of Amenepe is our final source, which talks about the Sea Peoples. It's dated to about 1100 BCE, and it provides evidence of Ramses III settling many of the Sea Peoples in the Levant region, in the land of ancient Canaan. Now, let's look at each group, each tribe, and discuss who they could be. The Shurden. The Shurden were one of the earliest Sea Peoples mentioned in the Amarna letters. They served in the legions of Pharaoh Ramses II, including among his personal guard. But by the time of Meremta, they were part of a coalition of Sea Peoples fighting the Egyptians. Some scholars believe they are related to Sardinians, because figurines of ancient people wearing armor and horn helmets matching Egyptian descriptions were found in Sardinia and Corsica. Well, there is a linguistic similarity between Shurden and Sardinia too, and that's an argument in favor of this theory. Another theory suggests that they didn't originate from Sardinia, but they ended up there. They originated in western Anatolia from the Lydian capital Sardis, another similar word. Scholars favoring that theory suggest the Shurden may have moved from Anatolia to Sardinia during the late Bronze Age collapse. Though archaeological evidence points to the Shurden being connected with Sardinia, there's no conclusive evidence if they were indigenous to the region or moved there. The Luca. The Luca were the first of the Sea Peoples mentioned in the ancient sources. Scholars believe they were most likely the Lycians of western Anatolia. Luca were likely vassals of the Hittites at one time, but there's no evidence of any treaties with the Hittites or any mention of any Luca ruler in the Hittite sources. Hittite sources dating to the mid-15th century do tell us that the Luca attacked the Hittites and denounced their gods. The Amarna letters have an appeal for help from the king of Alashia, Cyprus, to the pharaoh, Akhenaten, to fight the Luca. Remember the desperate plea for help by Amurapi I mentioned at the beginning? He says his ships were in the land of Luca, which tell us they were a coastal people. We can assume that the Luca were an Anatolian people who had a fickle alliance with the Hittites. The Weshesh, they were mentioned as a part of the alliance that attacked Egypt during the reign of Ramses III. We don't know much about them. Some scholars associate them with the legendary city of Troy. The term Weshesh might be derived from the Hittite name for Troy, Wilusha. But the links are tenuous with limited evidence supporting that theory. The Ekwesh. Most scholars suggest the Ekwesh were likely Achaeans, an ancient Greek tribe referred to in the Hittite sources as Achiawa. Meremta's inscriptions suggest they were the largest group of the Sea Peoples. The Achaeans were present in Crete, Cyprus, and the Anatolian coast, besides also in Greece. There's a possibility that the Ekwesh and the Peleshet formed an alliance when they colonized Crete. These new waves of immigrants brought the Mycenaean 3C style pottery seen all over the island, and later in the Levant. The Peleshet. Historians think the Peleshet were the ancestors of the biblical Philistines that settled in the Levant. They may have come from Crete, but it's not clear if they were indigenous to that area or immigrated there. Archaeologists point to the Mycenaean 3C style pottery in the Levant as evidence for the Cretan origins of the Philistines. Others suggest Ramses III, after vanquishing the Peleshet, himself settled them in the land of ancient Canaan. Whatever the case, the area we now call Gaza was inhabited by the Philistines, the Peleshet, and they went on to become the arch enemies of the ancient Israelites. The Shekelesh. They are one of the more obscure Sea Peoples. There are two contrasting theories of their origin. One suggests they came from Sagalassos in Pisidia, similar name, that's in southwestern Anatolia. The other theory says they could have originated in Sicily, also a similar name. And in both of those cases, especially with Sicily, it could be the place where they ended up. Maybe they came from Sagalassos and then eventually went to Sicily. The Teresh. This is one of the most intriguing groups. Several different theories about them. One is that they descended from the legendary city of Troy. Troy was a Hittite client state referred to as Tarushia, kind of a similar name. Is it possible that the residents of Troy's ruined city took up arms and began conquering other cities? Maybe. Another possibility is that Teresh were Teresians, a group of pirates mentioned in the hymn of Dionysus attributed to Homer. They had well-decked ships capable of amphibious assault, like the one on Egypt. And another theory associates them with the Tyrrhenian Sea, and therefore with the Etruscans. The Jekker. This group's identity is unknown. They're shown wearing hoplite-like plumes on their helmets, leading some scholars to believe they may have originated from the Aegean region, like many of the sea peoples did. The Denyen. According to Egyptian records, the Denyen were one of the major sea peoples. We find them mentioned in Egyptian, Hittite, and later classical sources by different names, such as Danuna, Danaioi, Dene, and Danian. There are different theories on their origins. Many scholars suggest Denyen was the Achaean Greek tribe Danoi. Homer refers to Greeks as Danaans, which led historians to link the Denyen to the Achaean Greeks. A less popular theory is that the Denyen are related to the biblical tribe of Dan, one of the 12 tribes of Israel. There isn't much evidence connecting the two, except both operated in the same geographical area. Why were they attacking everybody? Well, our investigation has suggested that the Sea Peoples were not unknown to the Mediterranean and Middle Eastern societies. They didn't appear out of the blue. In the inscriptions of Meremta, he says the Sea Peoples in the alliance with the Libyans arrived with women and children. Now, why would someone go to war along with their families? If the civilizations were aware of them, as Egyptian and Hittite records show, we have to question what drove them to these actions. How did they muster the courage to attack the fortified Bronze Age cities with their families along with them? Earlier ideas about them being marauding bands of invaders have been put into question. According to current research, the Sea Peoples may have been vassals of the kingdoms, mercenaries, and who became refugees, fleeing climatic change and food scarcity. In the late Bronze Age, famines and volcanic eruptions were prevalent. Events like these may have had a cascading effect. Food shortages are caused by famines, which harms exports. Lower trade volume implies less revenue, which means less money for soldiers and mercenaries. If they weren't paid, it was just a matter of time until they revolted. Tribes used for fighting may have betrayed their old masters. Food scarcity also drives people to migrate to other areas. Climate refugees are welcomed in some places, but not in others. Not everyone takes the word no as an answer. Many people pick up arms for survival. And maybe that's what the Sea Peoples were doing. According to Egyptian texts, some of the Sea Peoples anyway appear to have originated from Greece, and we know that's where Mycenaean civilization was collapsing. When a sophisticated and urbane economy crashes, a large number of city dwellers flee and become refugees. The brave among them pick up arms with the aim of pillaging. It's likely that as civilizations were collapsing, their citizens joined the various Sea Peoples tribes, increasing their numbers to the point that, hey, maybe they could conquer a neighboring state. In this context, we might see the Sea Peoples as an opportunistic people who took advantage of collapsing civilizations. One of history's most intriguing mysteries is the Sea Peoples. We have hints as to who they were, but they're just hints. Just hints about where they came from or where they went. So there's a lot still shrouded in the mists of time. But unlike in the past, they aren't seen as a group of pirates who showed up on city beaches, killed everybody, and then disappeared. They finally built new civilizations to replace the ones that they had attacked, but it would be a long time before they reached a level of sophistication and urbanization seen during the Bronze Age. Thank you for watching. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and if you really liked it, a super thanks would be much appreciated. And if you'd like to support the channel on a more long-term basis, you can do that at patreon.com/World of Antiquity.
You might like my little e-booklet, Why Ancient History Matters. It's designed to persuade people that the subject is important, even in the modern world. You might also wish to use it to help spread the word. So feel free to share it with someone you know. It's free for anyone who wants it. I've left a link in the description box below the video for you to grab a copy. Catch you later.